Hello, hello, hello. I am your host OCL, and welcome back to 1 Century Later. Today we'll be taking a look at all events from April 4th to April 10th, 1926. As with last week, all of my sources are in the description down below. Sunday, April 4th, 1926. Martial law was declared in Calcutta, British India as the April 2nd riots continued and escalated. Also on this day, presidential elections were held in the Greek Republic. Greek dictator Theodoros Pangalos won the election with 93.3% of the vote. His opponent, Konstantinos Demertzis, withdrew from the race before the election but remained on the ballot, receiving 6.7% of the vote. Monday, April 5th, 1926. Voting was held in Liechtenstein for the 15 seats in the Landtag, Liechtenstein's unicameral parliament. The Christian Social People's Party retained its lead over the Progressive Citizens Party, winning 9 of the 15 seats. Tuesday, April 6th, 1926. The first recorded incident of a person being killed by an Australian cassowary occurred in Queensland when 16-year-old Philip McLean and his younger brother attempted to kill one. Both kids were attacked by the cassowary, and unfortunately Philip bled to death from a wound to the neck. Also on this day, the German airline Deutsche Lufthansa, created on January 6th, made its first passenger flight with a fleet of 162 aircraft. The first flight from Berlin to Zurich used a Fokker F-2 aircraft with stops in Calais, Erfurt, and Stuttgart. Gerald Chapman, an American criminal nicknamed the Gentleman Bandit, was executed by hanging at the Connecticut Wethersfield State Prison after being convicted of the 1924 murder of policeman James Skelly during a gunfight in a store Chapman was attempting to rob. On the same day that Deutsche Lufthansa began operations, Varney Airlines, the predecessor to United Airlines, also began operations as the first regularly scheduled airline in the U.S. In a contract with the U.S. Department of the Post Office, pilot Leon B. Kudbach departed from Pasco, Washington, with a cargo of mail, stopping in Boise, Idaho to pick up more, before arriving in Elko, Nevada. The same day, Franklin Rose attempted to make a return journey from Elko to Pasco, but had to abort due to weather. Wednesday, April 7th, 1926. 50-year-old Irish-born Violet Gibson attempted to murder the Italian Prime Minister Benito Mussolini. Mussolini had just finished giving a speech to the 7th International Congress of Surgery, where he praised the surgeons who had saved his life after his injuries during World War I. The bullets grazed Mussolini's nose, meaning Gibson was the closest anyone came to assassinating the Italian premier. Mussolini would later joke that Violet Gibson chose the worst moment to attempt the assassination, as he was in the presence of hundreds of the greatest surgeons in the world. Gibson was not charged for the assassination attempt, but spent the rest of her life in a psychiatric hospital in England. After the assassination attempt, multiple anti-fascist newspapers were attacked throughout the country. During the attacks, property was destroyed, people were beaten, and 3 staffers were murdered. Also on this day, 43-year-old Italian journalist and anti-fascist Giovanni Amendola died from wounds he received on July 20th, 1925, when he was attacked by 15 black shirts after his anti-fascist comments with regards to the Matteotti crisis. And lastly on this day, during a thunderstorm near San Luis Obispo, California, lightning struck 3 Union Oil Company oil tanks holding 750,000 barrels of oil each. 15 minutes later, a 4th oil tank exploded after the first 3 explosions launched burning debris into the tank. Flames were launched nearly 1,000 feet in the air, creating fire tornadoes, one of which launched A.H. Sieber's cottage 150 feet downrange. The fire burned for 5 days, caused an estimated $15 million in damages, burned about 900 acres of land, and killed 2 people, Sieber and his son. The Union Oil Company was completely destroyed and never rebuilt. Thursday, April 8th, 1926. The Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, Nikola Pasic, was forced to resign following corruption scandals. Nikola Uzonovic took his place as Prime Minister. Friday, April 9th, 1926. An attempted coup against the Greek dictator Theodoros Pangalos in Thessaloniki was put down. Saturday, April 10th, 1926. The Italian N-1 airship named Norge departed from Rome, Italy on its way to the airship station in Polham St. Mary, England, to begin its attempt to become the first aircraft to fly over the North Pole during Roald Amundsen's attempt to reach the North Pole later in the month. Amundsen had previously attempted to reach the North Pole in May 1925, but was forced to make an emergency landing and aborted the attempt. And lastly, the Mauna Loa volcano, Earth's largest active volcano located in the Big Island of Hawaii, erupted, covering 8,650 acres of land in volcanic ash and soot, and destroying 12 houses, a church, and a small harbor. And that is all. See you next week for all events from Sunday, April 11th, 1926, to Saturday, April 17th, 1926. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.